Time is running out. The oath of peace, made possible by the noble sacrifice of the great dragon Balmitria and the miraculous coming of the five gods, is nearing its end. But the Titan's vengeance cannot be forever halted, not without great heroes. But heroes have come. Called by the Oracle and guided by Kyra, fleet-footed goddess of music and trickery, these exceptional individuals have followed the winds of fate across Thelia, building fame and forging bonds none thought possible. In Astoria, they rescued children from the hands of Demetria, a dryad of the Old Wood, and through diplomacy and great sacrifice brokered a peace that has blossomed into a growing alliance against the Titan Lutheria. They used bravery and cunning to stop the sacrifice of Pythor's daughter, Honora, to Sidon. They made the dangerous trek to the necropolis, gaining the favor of the Lich Daemon, discovering secrets of the ancient Dragonlords, besting the mad butcher Graxus, and gaining the armaments of Xander, greatest of the Dragonlords. They delved deep into the mithril mines, defeating troglodytes and a lesser Cerberus and its pack to reclaim the mines for Vulcan, god of the forge. The heroes journeyed to Mitros, greatest city in Thelia, beset by a terrible storm of Sidon. Defying the wishes of King Acastus and his counselors, the heroes recovered a powerful musical instrument and used it to channel the divine power of the Five, pushing back the storm. Following the wisdom of the god Queen Valis, the heroes sought the rumored ghost ship Ultros, crewed by the Damned and captained by Estor Archelander, whose exploits against the Titans in the First War are rivaled only by his crimes against the Fey peoples of Thelia. With the power of the great Ultros at their command, the heroes set off into the Cerulean Sea to seek out answers and tools to give them any edge against the Titans' looming conquest. In their nautical journeys, they battled great and terrible beasts, discovered ancient lore, and nurtured the first young dragons in centuries. These are but a few of their great deeds. But troubling questions still linger. How long, or how will the mortals survive the Titan threat? Can a new oath of peace be forged? Who can be trusted? We return now to Scorpion Island, a place once home to a great forest, now a great span of scorching desert. The centaurs who live here, mysteriously cursed to transform into deadly giant scorpions unless they form a lifelong bond with an outsider. Warrior monks from the city-state of Aresian make pilgrimage here to prove their strength against the scorpions and form a centaur bond. But what secrets lie deep within the desert of this cursed place? Yeah, what secrets? Welcome back. It's been 62 days and 21 hours since we played. A horrifying thought, one that troubles me. But I'm so glad to be back. I'm Daniel, and I dungeon master this thing. So and I'm joined by my boys.
Hello. Hi.
Hi.
Oh, they're so sleepy.
And I'm dying.
Oh, I'm so glad. We're back. And yeah, thank you for your patience. I knew that it was going to be tough to do a recap, and I know that misses a lot of tiny things, a lot of more specific things that happened last time. But we'll sort of do an immediate like what happened at the end of last session here in a minute. But I wanted to just get that out of the way and start it off with some drama, and then we can talk about our warm-up questions like we do.
I thought it was cool.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so who wants to do our warm-up roll, our D100 roll? 77. Lucky number.
That's true.
Okay, this is a cool one. If your character had to multi-class into a class they currently aren't the next time they level up, what would it be and what reason would they have?
Easy. Cleric. Cleric of Mitros.
Yep.
Because that is very much kind of the direction that Magus is like tilting in his social encounters. And also, we don't have a healer.
Who needs it?
we don't have like dedicated like resurrection other than the spell, other than our few remaining scrolls. And like Magus gets bonuses to magical healing. So like if he could heal himself, even just like a very like slim healing word, like he'd automatically gain like a bonus of like 18 hit points of like per day that he did that.
That's wild.
So.
Well, you know, like next time you have the opportunity to take a feat, you could take like Magic Initiate, right? And is it like get a cleric spell from Magic Initiate?
The thing is, I've already like mapped out the feats that I need because like I need to be the best at persuasion and lore and like history and religion. By the time we sit down at the table with the Titans to broker new peace.
This is what I love about D&D is like, these hard choices. Yeah. Well, cool. That answer does not surprise me. I feel like we've talked about that at length. I don't know, Shade. What would? Oh yeah, was that Tim?
Yeah, I was gonna say. I feel like you stole my thunder because I was gonna say cleric to.
Well, you guys are
Malta.
cousins. You're both gifted ones.
I guess we could be joint clerics. Yep. And as I'm healing wounds, I'll be like, take everything.
Goblin domain cleric.
You better.
What kind of nonsense would a goblin domain cleric they get up to?
It would just be chaos.
Yeah. But,
It would be really fun.
Rules? What rules? I've never heard of rules.
Yeah.
I mean that'd be that's a bit of a tough question for Shade, but if I had to multi-class, I think I would probably go with Paladin of Io.
Yeah, that's very cool. That would be sick.
Like literally been touched by greater elder god, that would be it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And it would get us a little bit more healing.
Yeah, because I feel like you've already sort of tapped into that like support role stuff.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of support stuff. Diogenes, what Diogenes multi-class in?
Well, I don't know. I've considered cleric too, which is kind of lame now.
No, it's not.
But
it identifies it as a much needed role in the party.
It does. That's true. And then I've also, I think, considered fighter to see if I could get like some more hits in, because I've sort of become a skirmisher type. So. I thought more hits is always good. More attacks.
There is also the I think the monk subclass from this campaign book can use spears. Like that's their whole thing. Is they're like spear and shield monks. So,
really?
Yeah.
I will look into this.
Okay.
Monkeying around.
I played. Well, no, sorry. I was a rogue, which is also. Everybody uses spears. No, but the monks are cool. You should look it up.
I don't know. I'm not thinking multi-class so much ever since we talked about that. What is it called? The great big spell that I get from my patron at, I think, Anyway, it just sounded so cool. I want to be like, oh, let's delve deeper into Warlock. So
Oh yeah, love it. We'll at some point have to talk about what some of the new like 5.5 edition stuff coming out, what it looks like, and if anybody wants to implement any of that in their stuff, which I'm open to. But that's a conversation for later.
I really like the weapon mastery thing they added.
Yeah, that's very cool. Like every weapon has like specific cool things it can do.
Yeah, and I've always felt like, oh, well, I'm a fighter, so I get mastery with all the weapons. It doesn't feel. I feel like there was a lost chance for flavor to give your character, and I think that like that brings it back, which is cool.
I do too. And it also makes it more of a decision of like, oh, well, of course I'm going to take a rapier because even though it doesn't fit the setting, it does, 1d8 versatile damage versus a short sword. It's like, oh, maybe I'll take a javelin because it can decrease people's movement speed and stuff like that. But yeah, so okay, well, cool stuff. I mean, do you guys have I know it's more of a mechanical question, but do you have an NPC that you would wonder like what they would tap into? I know they don't really have classes, but Timon? I like to think that Timon is like an alchemist. What is Theo?
Artificer.
Yeah.
So he's like the alchemy one. But he would probably dabble into maybe rogue, like some kind of rogue. Like not an assassin,
he is always
but like
sneaking around.
Yeah, exactly. Like an arcane trickster or something. I think it would be fun. But yeah, that's probably what he would do. All right. Well, we'll go ahead and who would like to sort of brush us up on what the last thing we were doing, or like what the last hour of the last game was like?
I can take a whack at it.
You got it.
So we arrived at Scorpion Island. We decided to we docked and met one of the warrior monks who unfortunately rolled great personality on the looks department. And went off to talk to some of the centaurs, who are all apparently under 18, which makes for an interesting society. We tried engaging them in various contests of strength, and then were pointed to one of their historians, who showed us, like, hey, if you want to see something weird, here are this... up on the top of this hill, there's this like weird, plinth sticking out of the desert, and we went up and saw like there's just from this vantage point we could see another in the distance, and then another in the distance from there, and there's probably a line of them, and on them are carved words in Celestial. And I have probably forgotten stuff because it has been a time.
That's okay. I don't think we said what the words were, but just they were Celestial.
Magus, I thought your comment about them being disappointed at under 18 was going to go in a different direction.
Magus is a gentleman.
Amazing. Plinth is a word that I did not know until you just said it. It's a support at the bottom of a statue. So like often a statue will sit on top of like a big square slab kind of thing.
Maybe I have been using it wrong.
Is that what you meant?
I guess I just meant like monolith stone sticking up out of the desert.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That'd be more of a stele or a standing stone.
Sure. Well, you guys.
Fine.
We throw obelisk into the word salad.
Sure. Cool. So that's where you guys are right now. So we'll just sort of kick it in there. Go ahead and do D&D. I'll be here if you need me.
Okay. Well, let's see. I don't think Celestial is one of the languages that Actually, yes. Magus does just speak Celestial. So tell me what the words are.
Okay, yeah. So you stand at the edge of the plateau that reaches across the remainder of the island. The winds, the scorching winds are like stinging your face and eyes, and it is hard to stay where you are. You know that this would cause damage to you if you were to just linger here, but it is long enough to get a look at this close enough object. Any of the others are too far to read any. However, what you get is... Oh, sorry, Matt, could I get you on push to talk for just a minute?
Yes. How does that work?
Or I don't know, just we can hear a lot of
a lot of Iris.
Yeah, I love her so much.
I know. It's okay. Let me see here.
Try not to be an
How do I turn on push to talk?
I think that's in your settings. If you want to just like manually mute, and then you can go into your settings and turn on push to talk. That'd be awesome.
Okay, I will do that. Sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so you are peering through the blowing winds, and you read the celestial script on the base of this object. A lot of it is just eroded away from the sand, and so you get words here and there. It appears to be part of the creation lore of Thelia. I'll say you get this full phrase. Thelia was of the old gods, ancient even when the world was young. And then later you see the word Kentamane, you see the word temper, you see the word tranquility, and the word enemies. Oh.
Okay. I will relay this to, I believe Shade was standing there.
Yep.
Because he wanted to see.
With you.
So yeah, this is... yeah, it's creation lore. I can't make out, like, this appears to be, it's not new information, but unless I wish I knew more about what it says here about Thelia being ancient even when the world was young. That could how do we get to the rest of these?
Jade looking out basically, because there's effectively something not far from a sandstorm blowing almost constantly, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So it's like, shit. She looks kind of both directions. Like, with great difficulty, we probably should not linger here much longer, because this does not seem like we'll leave unscathed otherwise.
Right. Yep.
So we kind of retreat back to the out of the winds and sand.
How far away? What was the distance between these stones?
Probably 50 to 100 feet each.
Okay.
They're not like perfectly spaced apart. They are sort of randomly spaced.
And they're all. Do they? From what we can see of them, are they all like approximately the same inset from the coast of the island type of thing? Or are they?
No, it's fairly random, and they are just scattered across the plateau, the plains of the inner island, as far as you can see. Basically, it goes on for miles.
I want to. I think I'm gonna try something. I just want to run up to that next one and see if it's still the same.
Okay.
Or if things change.
Do you want to prepare yourself in any way? Because you
yes, I
realize
am casting mage armor on myself.
Okay. All right. And mage armor just increases your AC essentially, right?
Yeah.
It does. It makes you immune to force damage, right?
Let me double check that.
That it matters, but
Protective magical force until the spell ends. Yeah, I think it just.
Or it's just magic missile. I think that makes you immune.
I think it's just magic missile.
Okay, so you pop on your mage armor and hop up over the edge like you're coming out of a trench in World War One, you know, and you're immediately blasted by this wind, and it kind of knocks you back a foot or two. The sand. I mean, you do have this mage armor up, but you are generally pretty exposed. You're not wearing armor like shade, and so anything that is hitting your skin, it feels like needles. And so you cover your face and march ahead. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Hmm.
19. Okay. So you're going to take a total of 10 damage, 5 of which is fire or heat, and the other 5 is bludgeoning, I guess. It's, abrasive. I would assume it's bludgeoning, rash damage. You're able to get to the closest, the most nearest one, and this one, what you see on it, this one has descriptions of a war that Kentamane was a part of outside of Thelia.
Okay, that's new.
And basically you saw the word enemies on the previous stone, and this one sort of there are words that you don't understand, even though you can read them in Celestial. You're assuming that they are like names, but it describes Kentamane basically seeking refuge here in Thelia.
What? There are And there's just an endless line of these things.
Yep.
Ah.
But
The next one is a similar distance away.
it's a bit further. I will say.
Oh no!
Though. The thing you're looking at, seeing a second one, roll an investigation check, please.
Okay. I think because I'm unable to select my character.
Oh, here, one second.
Did a weird thing. Yeah, it's only giving me strength, dexterity, and constitution checks.
Right. Sorry. Let me put your token.
You'll be able to do it straight from your character sheet if you have that.
Yeah.
I did try that.
Oh.
Like when I did the constitution save.
How about that?
Which I guess I meant I should have. It was an 18 on the constitution save.
Okay,
all right.
that's fine.
Sorry, what was the check?
Investigation. And also roll another Constitution.
Oh
okay,
no.
that's an 18 on the investigation. What you put together is, if I didn't describe it this way before, so forgive me if I'm reiterating myself, but these structures, they appear to be the trunks of massive ancient trees. All of them.
Ooh. Petrified?
And, yeah, basically like desiccated and, petrified from this exposure. The text, the celestial text that you can read is very incomplete. The words, you're basically reading the very lowest words available to you. Where the cutoff point is on this ancient tree, the text would have seemingly kept going up the tree, but the tree is gone.
I cast reverse time. I don't know.
And then with that Constitution throw, your mage armor sort of blinks and flickers, and you get a big old blast of heat and sand, and you take 20 total damage.
I can't stay out here doing this.
But what you gather is that you are standing amid the remains of what was a massive forest that seemed to have contained the history of Thelia inscribed on its bark.
All right, I'm going to dimension door back. Okay. None of this running through.
Yeah, so you guys see Magus just, appear there with you, and he's, scraped up. His skin is red, and
I am going to cast Cure Wounds on him.
Oh yeah, I don't even think I have to do the math on that. I'm back up to full. Okay, thank you. They're trees. This was a massive forest, and everywhere, like I'm only able to read just the bottom portions, but everywhere is written histories that scholars would kill for. Like there was something about Kentamane seeking refuge here from some kind of battle and his enemies, I'm assuming. I would... How do we...
Wait. Kentamane seeking refuge.
Yes!
Oh, boy.
I know, right? How... we need a way to stop the sandstorm, or get like some kind of permanent shelter, or like some way of, if only I could like see how this used to be. Oh, so much knowledge.
Very interesting. I fear that may make our goals here on the island a little more complicated, if not straight up more difficult.
Theo,
Well-
what are your thoughts? Kyra asks.
My thoughts are, how long is this? Do we think this storm is going to be here? Is it going to be here forever?
You see a centaur sort of like walking down the beach, like just south of you, that you could ask if you wanted.
Yeah, let's see if the weather can clear up, and then we can go over there and check it out more in depth.
Do you ask the centaur or?
Yes, I would ask the centaur.
Oh, okay. You call out, and the centaur goes, "What's up?"
Bro, what are the clouds gonna be looking like later? Is it gonna stay this gnarly forever, or like?
Oh,
you're up-
bro, it never stops, man.
Wow, so you never get a break from this?
Well, I mean, down here on the beach, it's cool, except when a big sandstorm rolls through.
Right, no doubt.
This
So
is
you
just
don't
like
know if-
normal.
This is your average day.
Yeah.
Wow, you live hardcore down here, bro.
Oh yeah, that's why I don't go up there.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Hey,
right.
you wanna come to church with me?
I'd love to, but I got some gnarly waves to catch.
Okay, I'll tell the goblin you said hi.
Wait a second, what goblin?
Oh, it's the Temple of the Goblin, man.
Temple of the Goblin. What does he go by?
I don't know. People call him lots of things. Goblin of Scorpion Island, Goblin of Malta, Water Walker, taking everything to the moster.
Yeah.
Don't bother
yeah,
me.
Yep, that's the one. Let's go to church. Take me to church. Let me worship at that shrine.
All right, hop on. Yeah.
Sweet.
My name's Carr.
Man, you make a nice ride, car.
Spelled Khar. The rest of your friends coming?
You all want to come with me to church? Or are you gonna sit at some dusty ruins?
What? Wait.
It's the Goblin of Malta. You got it.
I feel like I at least should go with him. Kind of under my breath to the others. Somebody needs to be with him.
I mean, if you
Oh,
guys,
sure.
there's a temple to Lutheria too, if you guys prefer that. They have better wine.
Hey, Magus, I know you like wine.
Who has better wine?
Oh, the Lutheria temple,
I'm going to investigate this.
Cool. Well, they're right next to each other, so we can just walk together.
Nice. Do they give out free wine samples, or is it just like if you go to church, you get wine? Or
I mean, it's
how does
like you
that
say a
work?
prayer, you get a sip. Say a prayer, get a sip.
Okay,
Make
I
an
might say
offering, take a
I
chug.
might say some prayers then to get some sips.
Yeah.
Have you turned like a worship service into a drinking game?
No,
Everything's a
Why would you
drinking
think
game
that?
here, man.
I'm just taking everything to the most.
All right. Well, you guys follow me.
This is going to be a very interesting day.
So Carr, he leads you down the beach, kind of towards the village, and he says, "So, you guys ever, do you know about the goblin? Do I need to like tell you some stuff about him?"
Please tell me about your Goblin of Malta.
It's legend has it he actually walked these very beaches years ago.
No doubt.
Yeah. So we don't, we've never seen him in person, but we have a statue, a beautiful statue that does the trick.
What trick is that?
Oh, just, being worshipful.
I see.
Yeah. Like, I don't even really, the statue's all I need, really.
Sure. It can really help make you feel closer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even care about going and finding the real guy. Okay, we got the statue. That's all we need.
Well, let's not get carried away.
Well, hey, if you've ever seen like a rendition of the goblin, then you'll know what I mean. Like it's you never want to part with it.
Oh, I know.
Oh, you've seen like a sculpture or something of him?
Absolutely.
No way.
It's pretty gnarly, dude. I'll have to show you sometime.
Yeah.
I got my own portable shrine set up.
Wait. You do?
Yeah.
Can I see it?
Maybe later. It's back on the ship. I don't like to take it out into risky situations because I don't want to risk it. But
are you lying about it being on the ship?
No, it's on the ship.
It is on the ship?
It's on the ship.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he said he set it up in his room. It's like it's in his cabin.
It's on the ship, huh? Okay. All right. Okay. Theo, roll an insight check.
Am I gonna be insightful?
Is he gonna try and steal you?
Remember how to be insightful. Oh boy. Insight. Found it.
A dirty 20. You can tell that his thoughts he can't pry his thoughts away from this from the painting or the sketch that you refer to. Like you mentioned that you have a rendition of the goblin somewhere on your ship, and that's like he is fully on that train of thought.
Oh, well, he's going to be in for a surprise because, man, do I have that booby trapped up the wazoo.
Oh, God. Oh, God. So you arrive at the temple district, which is just two statues sort of opposite each other. It's very bare bones. But there is indeed a statue of Lutheria. This does appear... Actually, is anybody proficient in like history or...
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Shocking.
I know all the things.
Actually, and I'll give this to you because, history and you're from Mitros. This appears to be a statue carved from... Like, it's in Mitrosian style. So it was probably brought here from Mitros.
Interesting.
And then
also, I feel like this would be a good time to remind everyone what I am proficient in: history, insight, perception, and investigation.
Ooh.
So if you ever need anything looked at, Theo.
That's right.
Okay.
So you see the statue of Lutheria. It is, it matches the images you've seen of her before. And then opposite is this statue of a goblin. And it's a small statue. It's probably life-size, though you don't really know. You've never seen a goblin, but it's roughly 3 feet tall, 3 or 4 feet tall. And it has not exactly the same pose and expression as is in your sketch, but it's a similar vibe. His hands are in his pockets, and it's like he's looking away. You know how some statues or paintings, the eyes follow you around the room? These eyes sort of avoid you everywhere you walk. Yeah, that's what you see. And Carr, he sort of drops down to his horse knees and just like, man, look at it. Oh, just look at him.
Yeah, I'll do the same thing. Man, this looks so much better than my rendition. This is, wow. How impressive.
I know, right? Just the fact that we have this, Oh man.
Treasure it always.
We had to thankfully a scroll on how to carve washed up on the beach, because none of us knew how to do it, but man, we really got
truly.
together. I think we put more effort and thought into how to make a carving of this of the goblin than we've done ever. And as he says that, a little shack in the background just sort of collapses under its own weight. It's
Truly,
but this thing,
truly a gift from the goblin.
this thing is never coming down, man.
I agree.
Make
Looks
everything
really
to the most. That's what we say.
Hey, that's it.
And by everything, we just mean statues of this goblin.
Of him. Yes.
Yep.
Long live the goblin.
Yep.
Yep.
So I sidle up to Shade and say, Am I dreaming? Is this a real religion?
Jade is kind of like, I am not really sure. Maybe?
Kyra speaks up. She's, I've been around, and I can safely say I've never seen a shrine to this goblin. So it must have some great importance to this island.
I think it has some great importance to us all.
Oh, of course, Theo. Of course.
So, Shade asking the centaur. So, how long have you had this statue?
Oh man, maybe like 10 years or something, 10 or 20 years. I don't know.
Interesting.
Does that mean longer than anyone here can remember?
I mean, I think everybody I know here was like a baby or something. I don't know. I'm glad that somebody carved it.
Absolutely.
And where did this one come from? The motion to the statue of Lutheria.
Yeah, that one. There was some, I don't know, some people dressed in black robes that kind of showed up one time. They just sort of came out of the blue, and they had the statue and a couple books, some wine, and yeah. They didn't have a ship.
I see.
That was cool.
No. They wouldn't need it. Did they... What else did they tell you about Lutheria worship?
Oh, just enjoy yourself, drink the best, eat the best, and, think about her, and she'll take care of you in death and all this stuff. And, we've heard of Lutheria, she's been here for a long time, just like us. She loves the Fey people. That's us.
Kill your children in her name?
I mean, I don't know about that.
No, they forgot to mention that part?
Well, I mean, life's hard here. Roll a persuasion check if you're trying to actually impact his thought process.
Yeah.
$22. I mean, yeah, that's not very cool.
No, it isn't.
Why would she do that?
But I think because her idea of a good time doesn't see us as equal to her. It's kind of like a kid who plays around with ants and then just starts stomping them because it's fun.
Maybe it's just like you mortals, though.
I have seen one of her servants fall to its death while praying for her help, and she didn't help them because she was too busy laughing.
he leans over to Theo and says, "Guess I'll just keep worshiping the goblin then, huh?"
Yeah, it's a safe bet.
Yeah.
She sounds like a real dick.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about it, but now I'm pretty sure. Goblin's the one for me.
Yeah, we got it.
Thanks, though, Elf. Appreciate it.
Are
Shade is
there
just-
any? Yeah.
It's just like, this is a very weird culture.
Oh, you said we
Are
have
you
culture? Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, you're so cultured, dude.
Nobody ever
You don't
says
even
that.
know. You don't even know. So, what does a daily service look like for the Goblin of Malta?
I mean, just like come here and just marvel, and yeah, that's kind of it.
Mm. Yeah, really taking it to the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. It makes you wonder though, like where he came from, because I think he was here. At least that's what the stories say. It's like he was here, and then he just left somehow.
Mm. You know, I think the Goblin of Malta is always with us.
Yeah, you're right.
Said
Especially
all of
with the
us.
statue
Yeah.
right here. We got him.
Yeah.
He's not going
He's
anywhere.
right here.
Who cares
Exactly.
who cares where the real one went? We have this.
You know, I imagine he's probably been everywhere.
With your like talking to him for a while, you can insight that he truly does not have any interest in finding or seeing the real goblin. It seems like this statue is truly everything that he wants.
Excellent. So, what is the goblin to you?
Oh, to me,
Yeah.
you know, just like you look at that face and it's like, what is that?
What is that?
Just like, it makes me go like,
Where
what?
did that come from?
Every time I look at him.
Wow.
So he talks, he kind of blathers on, and you can tell there's really nothing there philosophically. It's just like this weird, entrenched sense of awe at nothing. I mean, this is the least awe-inspiring creature. I'm not from a meta perspective. It's the least awe-inspiring creature possible, but the centaur is just like enthralled, and
He's really reaching, trying to find something.
I mean, not really trying. It seems very natural. It seems like he's quite literally, overwhelmed with reverence for this goblin.
Well, I think Theo would. I'll make this brief and summarize the highlights of what he would tell the centaur, because honestly, Theo could go on days about the Goblet of Malta and his wonder. But he will hit the highlights of how the Goblet of Malta has shaped his life from when he was fleeing his homeland to the journeys he's been on, and how the Goblin of Malta has always been there for him, strengthening him in his lowest points in life, and just share what the Goblin of Malta is to him with the centaur.
Do either a persuasion or religion check, either one.
Let's see. Persuasion.
That's a 10. It seems that your words are kind of falling on deaf ears. You would think that somebody who shares the same passion for a hobby or something they love, that you would sort of you would feedback off each other and build each other up in this way. But it seems he has this idea of what the goblin is to him, and it's insulated from your perspective of it. You're not really changing his mind at all. He he loves the goblin, but for his own reason, and that's it.
All right. Well, after seeing the blank face, I will slap my knees and say, "Well, gotta get going."
He says, "Oh, that's cool. I can't reach my knees," and he like slaps
Yeah, but I
his
hear
arms down.
centaurs are really good at climbing ladders.
Oh yeah, the best.
Yeah.
The
Alright,
the
well.
ropier the better.
Keep taking everything to the most.
Will do, buddy.
See ya.
Anything else in the religious quarter, the temple district?
Is there anybody coming by the Lutheria shrine?
Yeah, there's a couple people that stop by and go like, "What up, Lutheria?" and then take a swig, and then trot away.
I think
If you
I'll
wanna-
I'll take some wine, but do a little "What's up, goblin?"
Ooh, okay, all right. Do any of you speak to any of the Lutheria worshippers?
I think I'm just going to like investigate the statue for like the very weird off chance of like there's a small inscription that has like "Magus, call me Condrus"
Oh, sure.
or something like that.
Roll a perception check.
Because I feel like that'd be almost.
24. No, you don't find anything like that. I mean,
Okay.
based on Carr's description, I mean, the statue's been here for a long time. Longer than you've known Contras. But yeah, I'll say with that perception check though, you hear one of the worshippers or whatever, just offer up a casual little prayer of like, thanks for the sunny day, thanks for the wine, and thanks for these new visitors, and like briefly like describes like Shade specifically just because of his interesting appearance.
I don't think this is going to be a fight that Magus is going to pick.
Okay, cool.
They're simple people. They don't know any better, and
Right.
we are too pressed for time to proselytize.
Fair. Anything Theagenes is thinking of or doing at this point?
Well, I'm trying to adjust to this new reality in which the Goblin of Malta is something that people other than Theo could admire, and I'm wishing that I don't know. I'm going to suggest to Magus that he try to detect any magic involved, because I don't see how this is possible without some kind of mind control effect. So
I mean, I could throw up detect magic. Sure, it'll be about 10 minutes. And I'm assuming these are just normal statues.
You can assume that.
No, I say like
He
I do
casts
the
detect magic, does he?
Oh, sorry.
Assume it.
Let's see. You cast detect magic. Yeah, there is a faint aura of, I guess it would be enchantment magic, or not enchantment. I need to have just this printed out. Schools of Magic.
Magus's Merry Magic is all you need.
Right. Yeah, it's enchantment. Mm-hmm.
Okay. On the Goblin of Malta.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Not on Lutheria.
No. No, Lutheria's statue is just a plain old statue without a magical aura.
Well, this just got weird. I will inform Theagenes that yeah, it is giving off a little bit of a little bit of something.
Can you tell what it's doing to them?
It's some kind of enchantment. I mean, that kind of narrows down what sort of effect it's doing.
Could it be increasing their interest in the statue?
Oh, quite probably. You know, I don't know if I ever had a detect magic up around the portrait that we have. That would be something to look into.
Dun dun dun.
Over my dead body will you disgrace the Goblet of Malta with your foul magics.
Yeah, that is something you could look into. It's about this time a centaur like gallops over and says like, guys, the monks are fighting scorpions.
Vince?
Yeah.
Sweet, I want to see that.
Yes, yeah.
Better than this.
Better than this. That's funny. So
So we head off at a jog.
you trot up the beach and you arrive. You can see it from pretty far. There are these very large statues of scorpions that flank a sandstone temple, and the temple sort of sits amidst a small oasis. And at the front of the temple near these statues are contingents of Aresian warrior monks dressed in their, not much, but what there is red. And they mostly all have shields and spears. And you can hear fighting going on beyond them. So I'll take you over to a little map here. So yeah, so you're at the this scorpion temple, and you can see amid the pillars of the temple itself, you can see one monk engaged in combat with a giant scorpion, and it is truly giant. It's definitely bigger than what any centaur would be that would transform into it. And it has massive claws and about a 15-foot long arched tail with a stinger dripping with what could only be guessed as some sort of nasty poison. The monk fighting it is bloodied and cut, but he springs about the temple with the agility of an Olympian. He is sort of jumping from pillar to pillar, making flying stabs and strikes with his spear, blocking these stinger attacks with impacts that would break bone. And he seems like he is fairly confident, though the scorpion looks about as wounded as he is. So that's what's going on. What do you guys do right now?
He's
Say again, I didn't catch you.
sorry. I made backspace the push to talk button, and then I deleted myself from Forge. With
There you go. Got you back.
I was going to ask if these are Aresians, and if so,
Yes, they
I'm
are
gonna sort of
very, very clearly Aresians. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try and look not recognizable.
Okay, cool. The guards at the front they're not actually looking your direction. They're looking inward towards the temple, watching the fight. You can see they're like kind of flinching and like rooting for their comrade.
I will go up and just like casually, to one of them is like, so how long has he been at it?
It has been 3-4 minutes.
4 minutes.
He's
That's
going
long for a
longer.
battle.
Yes, this has been a tough one. I worry for him. But he shows great strength. And
if he falls?
If he falls, he falls. He falls with honor. And just then you hear a as you look and you see the scorpion clasps one of these giant claws around his waist, squeezes, blood comes out of his mouth, and then the other claw sweeps across in like a big scissor motion and simply decapitates him.
Whoa.
The scorpion chitters with excitement and grabs the corpse, moves to a sandy spot near the temple, and burrows underground, disappearing.
And I turn to my teammates and say, and this is how Aresian wastes its young men.
Jade would kind of look to the other monks. Is there a reason you didn't step in to keep him from dying?
The monks sort of look at you with, like, confusion laced with disdain, and they say, "You clearly know nothing about our culture."
I know that you're warriors, but I would think that warriors would prefer not to lose promising, developing soldiers. Is that not the case?
We are the.
You will have to forgive. I'll kind of step in a bit. It's like you'll have to forgive my friend. As you can see, he is not from. He is somewhat displaced.
An older Aresian walks up from the depths of the temple, and he is wearing what looks like the simplest of clothing of all of these, but at the same time he looks the most seasoned. His his skin and hair and basically everything looks like it is cared for daily with the most precision, but his clothing and adornment is just dead simple. And Theagenes, you would note that this means he is the highest ranking of these people. And he steps forward and says, what was his name? I am Tullius. Welcome to the Temple of the Scorpion.
Shade would nod to me. I'm Shade.
Shade is welcome in a place where the sun never ceases.
And I am
I see what
Magus,
you did
my
there.
good Hotman.
He chuckles. Says, "That is something my granddad said to me."
Now I'm just gonna fully turn and glare at Theagenes.
He seems
I
to
chuckle.
appreciate it, though. He
Gotcha.
he says, "I can see that you are troubled by what you have seen here."
It's not. Yeah.
Jade would just say,
I'll let Jade explain.
I understand your customs are your own, and I do not fully understand or appreciate them. It saddens me to see fellow martial warrior fall when it is preventable.
Yes, well, this challenge, this task is voluntary. Those who come here do so to seek the greatest challenge, to seek the greatest honor, and it is something that those of the Temple of the Shield, of which I am a long-standing member, it is what has given us dominance over the other temples for years. So the risk is known, and the glory is there for the taking if one has the strength. But there is great honor, even in failure, for the attempt is only made by those of the highest bravery.
I'm gonna make a disgusted sound, and then, try and hide it.
I think that this may be a cultural difference between us that is not going to be reconciled here, and perhaps this is not the place for such a debate. Instead, I would want to know if you would be willing to tell us more about this temple and the scorpions who live here.
He looks first at Theagenes and gives you like an understanding nod, and says, were there a shortage of warriors in our people, it would be more of a tragedy. But my friends, my comrades, myself, we are given a spear before we can walk. It is our life and all we know. And then he looks at Magus and says, this temple was constructed centuries ago. One of our explorer ships found this island, found its harsh conditions, its deadly creatures, and it became a pilgrimage for us. So the temple was created to honor its tradition, to honor the combat, and to symbolize the greatness of its achievements of these monks. Alas, even the greatest stone construction does not fare well under the incessant sands.
Certainly.
What brings you to this island? Well, fine. See you.
Shade would kind of look to Magus and say, well, we are on a trial of our own, as it would be, and this is one more step along the path. We seek to challenge the island as well.
The shores of the island are not without dangers, but the scorpions tend to keep to the center of the island. The temple itself is designed to attract scorpions for our war ritual.
Would you be willing to share any direction, that would point us closer to the center of the island? That's probably where we will be trying to go.
Yeah, he looks at you a bit impressed. He says, I will share with you, there is a passage that leads through the canyons to the interior of the island. Though it is very dangerous, and it is rumored that those who make it through find themselves forgetting all knowledge of their journey and returning. I hate to send friendly newcomers such as yourself to an uncertain death. I would be more confident sharing the location of this passage with you if I could see your martial prowess.
Is he challenging me to like a spar, or is he like wanting me to fight a scorpion?
If we do this, we will not suffer one of our companions to fall.
That is fine. The scorpions are nigh unlimited. They crawl about beneath the sands, and we simply call them, and they come. If you can defeat one of these scorpions, I will even let you fight as a team. If you fight together, we will call two.
Okay, so in cultural knowledge of mine, I perceive
over to Shade and just my skill set isn't the best against one target, so.
What are you saying, Theagenes?
Yeah.
I was gonna ask if I perceive that as an insult.
Oh, roll an insight check.
Okay.
It's an 18. I would say it's more like there's a little bit of condescension there. Just they are career warriors and they see themselves as such, but it is more like you are not of them, and for you to just simply throw your lives away would be more pointless. And so it is there is an element of compassion and wanting to make sure that you are actually equipped to go into something dangerous. So no, I would say it's not an insult.
Okay.
Just real quick, is this a role I could do or something for seeing, compared to the single warrior that was fighting the scorpion before, how does Shade feel he would stack up against a single scorpion?
Okay, yeah, do an investigation check.
Investigation?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
That works.
Isn't that funny?
One-on-one, it would be pretty tough. Yeah.
Okay.
you need
But-
some backup?
Feeling like it's like, well, considering we are always stronger together, I think we can fight too as a team. That shouldn't be too bad. Jade look around to the rest of the party.
He sees your
Absolutely.
dragons behind you, and he a little wide-eyed turns and says, "You have dragons with you."
Yes.
Don't you?
I this is very impressive. I would ask that you do not involve the dragons. I would, if a dragon were to come to mortal harm, ritual of ours, it would not be well.
This Zarion looks like visibly insulted. He doesn't say anything, but he's obviously like I am a dragon, sir.
And we
How
hear you.
dare
Gray.
you.
He sort of politely bows in the Aresian fashion and just says, I mean, no disrespect, just that a dragon has not been seen by our people in a long time, and I simply cannot consent to a dragon engaging in this fight.
Jade would nod at that and turn to Zarion and just be, how about you stay on Overwatch, and if you see a good place to contribute, go for it. Your decision is yours. To Zarion.
Right. Yeah, Tullius is impressed. And is everybody game to do this?
I'm sorry. Like, what are we doing?
Fighting two scorpions as a party to prove that we are capable enough for him to give us directions into the canyons.
Okay, I'm assuming Pythor is not joining us.
No.
What about
1, 2,
what about
boom,
Adrian?
boom, done.
Yeah, I mean, Adrian, I guess, can join. Yeah. No reason he can't. I forgot he was there. No, if Pythor is with
I'm
you, like Tullius is like, I know the god of battle, and he may not participate. So he says, prepare yourself and follow me when you are ready.
How tall are these scorpion statues?
I think they're probably too big represented on the map than what they really would be. They're probably about 30 by 30.
Okay. So they'll put them like 10 feet tall, some type of thing?
I guess like the body of it would be 10 or 15 feet, and then the scorpion tail would come up about to 30 feet.
All right. Well then, Zarion's gonna just like fly up and perch on that and just like watch down.
Yeah. Cool.
And Shade, like assuming the rest of the party is cool with this, Shade's gonna start walking forward into the.
Get in there.
Man, Adrian looks a lot older than I pictured him.
Oh, wait, let me see him. Oh yeah, that's
He's the one getting hit, right?
he's getting up there.
He's my younger brother. He's like in his mid-20s for an elf.
So Tellius moves into the interior of the temple and, waits for you.
Everybody coming? Do, 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 do.
Hi.
He points to either end of the temple, the left and the right side, and you can see there are these bronze rods that are at about head height and then go down into the ground. And then there are sand pits nearby. And he points to you to, somebody to go to each side.
It'll take one.
Does anybody want to run Falben's character sheet?
I can.
Okay, cool. I
think it's still shared with me from the last time I did.
Yeah, you should. Okay, so he instructs that when you are ready, you must strike the bronze rod that goes down into the sand below, and only a mighty single blow or a flurry of blows.
All right, I got this, guys.
Will work.
Step back, Shade. No. No, you got it.
I'm just gonna kind of motion to Falben for his 15 different strikes.
Yeah, because he, I would say with his sneak attack and different abilities, I'm not super familiar with, he could make that happen. Yeah, so go ahead and let's everybody roll initiative first, and then we'll have just out of initiative order roll whatever your chosen attack is to try to summon the scorpion.
Do you want to pop up an encounter so we can roll initiative?
Yeah. Do I? Yeah, I think I will. Okay,
would you like to roll an encounter?
Oh. Well. Oof.
Chufta.
Initiative. Are we doing initiative? Sorry.
Yeah.
If I can remember how to do it. Oh, there it is.
Ha!
Woof.
Diogenes knows what's up.
Has Diogenes been through this?
That's what I'm wondering.
All right, so whoever the chosen pole striker is on each side, go ahead and roll whatever your attack you're doing.
Right. So I think it's Shade and Falben. So, oof. Here we go. That's Shades and. Oh, okay. There's this. It's a soul. Oh, no, dang it. I just closed my character sheet. Just trying to flip between the two.
You didn't
all right.
write it anyways.
Yeah, let's see here. Alright, so Falben action. Rebound dagger. There we go. Why does that not show up on his list?
Okay, it's a 14.
Great, so two 14s.
You strike the Shade and Falben both strike the bronze rod, and it sort of like reverberates with a well-fashioned hum, but the ground barely shakes beneath your feet, and nothing appears to be happening. And Tullius just sort of calls out, "You must be stronger than that. Or faster."
All right. Oh well, since didn't actually do this yet, I will summon my echo.
Okay.
Make sure it's up on the thing, so it's just bloop.
Yep.
There. All right. Well, I guess then I'll just attack twice with my glaive. Just.
Oh, 29. Yeah. That certainly. It makes it clear like a bell ringing, or like a ooh, as it shivers, and you can see dust sort of kick up from the ground, and then the sand pit begins to sort of swirl, and we're gonna bring into initiative this one scorpion, and then what about Falben?
Falben will attack with the rebound dagger for a 30.
30. He
Not to be outdone.
He sort of springs off one of these pillars and just like wraps the rod with this dagger in such a precise way that it like taps into the like the base frequencies of this metal without actually delivering like a powerful blow, and thus the other scorpion also enters the initiative.
Oh,
so
cool.
we're gonna begin with Theagenes.
Okay. I am gonna cast Shadow of Moil. Why does it say? Okay, cast spell. There we go. Why is it? I don't know why it rolled just now, because that should be in response. But maybe it thought I was being attacked or something.
Sure.
Okay, Shadow of Moil is up. And let's see. I'm gonna run in this direction because we already have a tank on the right. And that's it.
Okay. Up next is Giant Scorpion, which is the one on the right, I believe. Yeah. So, so Shade, you're gonna take. You know what, I'm going to have him roll a percentile die to decide which creature he attacks first. So he's going to attack at the Shade first. So he has multi-attack, 3 attacks, one of which may be the Tail Stinger. So he's going to come out first with a pincer attack, and that's a 27 to hit on the Echo.
The Echo.
Yeah.
Alright, so the Echo's gone.
And then it's targeting you with its second pincer attack. It's a 25 to hit.
That'll hit.
Okay, that's gonna do. Okay, yeah, I almost read the attack roll as the damage. Sorry. Let's see. So that's 8 damage to you, and you are grappled.
Ooh.
Let's see, grappled. And then with you grappled, with you grappled, he's gonna attempt to hit you with the tail stinger. But you are able to dodge out of the way, and that attack misses. Falben, aka...
Just really quick, is Adrian in this combat?
Oh, right. Who's controlling him?
I think you are.
Me?
Unless you want one of us to.
Oh, yeah, I assumed it was Shade's, or not Shade's, Magus's.
Oh, I have not looked at this at all.
Okay,
Control your brother.
I'll do it. I'll have him over there with you guys, or where do you want him?
Okay. Yeah, he'll probably be over here.
Okay. Let me add him into the initiative. And okay, he goes pretty late. So Falben is next to this giant scorpion.
Yeah, he's gonna do a stabby stab. I assume.
Okay.
Dab. Give him the old 1-2.
Ugh, that was not as great. All right, well then, let's see here. To attack again is a bonus action, right? Yeah, to do his thing. I think what he's going to do. Well, no, yeah, he's gonna attack again. Just gonna do the bonus action attack with his rebound dagger.
Cool.
Go try and get a hit on it.
It's a 30.
Which this thing hasn't moved yet in combat, so that should trigger the sneak attack thing.
I think
right?
so. I think so.
And you're next to it, so you get the other thing.
Oh, I've got it. He's got advantage too.
Yeah.
I forgot about that for the first attack. He had advantage. So this might not even be the. I guess this would just be the advantage of it. Yeah. So that's the assassin sneak attack, which is that.
Wow.
Damn.
46 damage. Yeah. That is a massive hit, just running in through one of its eyes with Falben's dagger. And
yeah, I'm gonna assume he doesn't really actually want to get grappled, so he's gonna Falben's going to bonus action disengage, and
you already used
here.
your bonus action for that second attack.
No, he actually had advantage because
I
there's
see.
somebody next to it, and I guess he technically had double advantage because it hadn't moved yet, and Magus is next to it. So yeah, so that was actually his advantage roll to get the 30.
So a clarification: the ally next to you doesn't really give you advantage, but the sneak attack, you don't need advantage if another enemy of the target.
Right. But he gets advantage because it hadn't moved yet. That's the
okay, right.
The
that's the assassin feature. Perfect.
Thing. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Very well done. Thea.
Summon my ballista. I could actually drag it onto the screen this time.
Yay! All right.
Nice.
I'm gonna target the same one that everybody's been wailing on.
This one over here.
Use a bonus.
it's a crit miss.
And then that's my turn because it was my action to summon it, and then the bonus to shoot it.
Okie doke. Magus, you are face to face with this scorpion.
Okay. I'm going to take a step back.
Oh, really?
Just a plain old step.
Just a plain old step.
Okay. Well, it's gonna go ahead and try to attack you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well.
That's a 12, which misses.
Yep. All right, and then
I get a 29 and you get a 12.
yeah. To each according to his ability.
To each according to his hit points.
Yep.
Dang, he said you ain't got no nipples.
And I am going to cast Rhymes Binding Ice on this thing. Let's have some fun.
Okay. Okie dokie. So the scorpion fails, rolls an 8 on the save.
Yep.
And
So, it either cannot move, or it has to use its action to break itself out.
okay. Perfect. Anything else?
That is all.
Okay. Shade.
All right. Well, I'm grappled. First things up, I'm going to use my bonus action to resummon my Echo. And I'm just going to put it right over here, kind of to the side of this thing. And then I'm just going to... Grapple doesn't prevent me from attacking
you
or
can
anything.
still attack, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, so I'm just going to attack. Like...
Get in there.
19 hits.
Cool. Does it let me roll for damage? Oh, there it goes. All right. And I'm going to... Oh, come on. Okay. And do that again.
Yeah, that hits 24.
And then I'm going to unleash my incarnation, use one of those to do it again.
Again.
Oh, come on. Come on, mouse. Come back to the... There we go.
21. It's another hit. You hear some like soft cheers from the warriors.
All right. And that...
Flaps.
Yeah.
That's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe.
Adrian is up now. He's going to... he has multi-attack. Makes 4 fisticuff attacks, or two fisticuff attacks and brace up. So he's gonna brace up and get 10 temporary hit points first. So he like loads his arms like Henry Cavill in that one Mission Impossible movie.
Yep.
And then he's just gonna start punching. So that's a 24 on the first hit for 6 bludgeoning damage. Yep. And then one more punch. It's a 16, which misses. All right, it's the wounded scorpion's turn. It's gonna lash out at Adrian because it's the closest. So attacking with the grasping pincers. It's a 10 on the first one. A 10 on the second.
Yes, get it, brother.
And a tail stinger to 26 with the tail stinger.
Oh.
Adrian fails the Constitution saving throw. So he's going to take 27 damage and is poisoned. Yeah.
Did you do that to the scorpion or to Adrian?
Oh. I healed the scorpion.
Please no.
That stinger just got so much worse if it heals the scorpion when it poisons.
It's a straw, a delicious drinking straw.
These are scorpions, not mosquitoes.
Okay, and the scorpion is going to wheel around here behind
Nope,
Adrian.
it can't.
Oh, right.
It can't.
Haha.
Not allowed.
You passed my test. The Agenese.
Okay, let's see here. I am going to approach it, and does it remain in the ice? Is that a 1 round thing, or does it stay until it breaks
It
out?
stays there until it or a friendly creature takes an action to break it out.
Okay. Well, it is within 10. I mean, I'm heavily obscured to it, and within 10 feet of me, it's in darkness. Oh well, no. Would you say it was dim light or bright light in here before?
It's bright.
It's bright, so it's now dim light where it is. But it can't see me at all, and I'm gonna attack it 3 times with advantage.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. That's what I brutally do.
24 to hit on the first one.
Well, with
Nice.
advantage. Hold on. Did that have advantage?
Nope.
No. Okay. So, did it? It didn't already apply, did it?
Nope.
The damage.
You didn't. I don't think you targeted the creature.
Oh, okay.
Are you going to roll this one again at advantage, or I mean, sorry.
Just roll it once.
Yeah, just roll it one more time, and that'll be the advantage roll.
Yep.
Because all you can get better is a crit. Yeah. So we'll stick with the first roll. So you hit for 15, and you have 2 more attacks.
Yep. How do I? Hold on.
If you want to roll at advantage, hold shift while you click on the attack.
There we go. Did that work?
I think that just rolled normally again.
Yeah, it's still rolled normally.
Press shift. Okay, well.
Either way, it should hit, doing almost the same damage. But yeah.
Do you want to?
Do it again.
Do you want to try again? Yeah.
Crit fish.
Why not?
Fish.
Okay, so we'll stick with the 23 to hit, dealing 14 damage. You're just.
Is it giving me my +1?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And then last one.
Why does it do for the damage? Why does it do 2 different d6, like a 1d6 plus 1 plus 3 plus 1d6 plus 1? What is that?
More damage.
That's weird. Is it rolling all of them at once? Is it rolling all of them at once?
I don't know.
Okay. Maybe I think that's one of them is the bonus, or the bonus action, and one of them is the regular one. And with the bonus one, you don't. But it's adding them up, and I think that's wrong.
Right. Yeah. So it shouldn't be taking quite that much damage.
No, it shouldn't.
Okay. So
I don't know what happened there.
That's all right. We'll figure it out later. So let's roll back a little bit. For that first attack, the damage should have.
Let's see if I.
Is it just the? Which ones do you get the bonus attack, or?
I get the bonus on 2 of them.
Okay, so the first.
Sorry. I get the +4 on 2 of them, and I get +1 on.
On one of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first 2 are the full damage, and the third one is the lesser damage. Okay, so the first attack would have just been 6 rather than.
Wouldn't it have been an 11 because you just would have dropped off the 4 that he rolled?
Oh yes, yeah. So we'll add 4 back. Oops.
I mean. Yeah.
And the same for the second one. It would have been 10 instead of 14.
Okay.
I mean, if we want to be fully fair, we should choose the die randomly, but
Oh, it's just taking the first one.
Yeah.
Just keep the first one, drop the second one.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's-
okay.
that's
Yeah,
all
that
it's
works.
doing.
That works. All right.
Okay, so it gives him a little health back, but you do end with a critical hit. So it's gonna be that. It's gonna be that bonus one. So that's 6 plus your roll of 3 plus the modifier of 4.
Yep.
Math. Hold on, sorry. So 12? No, 13? 13 points? Describe to
Cool.
me your the killing of this scorpion through your actions.
Well, I am feeling a lot of rage directed at the priest guy we've been talking to and my culture, and I just I yell in a rageful way that you guys have never heard before, and then you see the dark spear thing, or my spear, come out of the dark area and just like right in its face, just as deep as I can get it.
Beautiful. Yeah, there's some cheers from the Aresian warriors.
And then I'm gonna jump back 20 feet or 10
Okay.
feet.
Perfect. The other giant scorpion that is currently grappling Shade, the first thing it's going to do is spew acid at you from its mouth.
Oh, fun.
So
Cool.
Shade, if you could please roll a Constitution saving throw.
Neat.
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can do that. I can roll one of those. Saves. Constitution. Normal. You know what? I'm gonna use. Well, let me see. How many do I got? Yeah. I'm gonna use my inspiration to reroll that
Okay.
because I rolled a 4 on the dice, and I'm really good at Constitution.
You are
Well, that's a 10. That's better.
19. Okay. So. Okay, so you are going to take 20 acid damage. That is the halved value. And your fur is singeing. So that is okay, and then it will have to recharge that. It's also going to try to tail stinger attack you again.
Nice. Sounds fun.
I don't know why it says it's incapacitated.
Just in shock and awe of how awesome we are and how quickly we dispatched its
Right.
buddy over there. Yeah.
Shivering.
It's not letting me roll it. It's saying the scorpion
Yeah,
is incapacitated.
He's Patrick.
Yep. All right. Well, that's.
Hold on. There we go. So an 11 misses, but it's going to use its feature that I forgot to use earlier called Chittering Feint. So if it misses a creature...
Ooh.
Oh, wait, hold on. You're grappled anyway, right?
Yeah.
So it's at advantage, any attacks from it?
Oh. Okay. Well, fine.
That's what you want to remember now.
Okay, so even with advantage, it misses, and so now it's going to use its reaction to attempt to re-roll it with disadvantage, so a flat roll this time.
Cool.
This time it is a 21.
Yep. All right. That will just barely hit.
Okay.
So I need a saving throw again.
Yes. So you succeed. You're going to take 16 damage. It's a mixture of piercing and poison. Oh, oops. Sorry.
Whoa. That should be it.
You should have 32 HP.
32.
Oh, sorry, 70. 70.
Yeah, it's like
My bad.
it's like I went from 86 to 32.
My bad.
Yeah.
And then with its last one, it's going to add advantage attack with its pincer. It's 27 to hit.
Wait, does it get advantage with me being grappled by it? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, I think any creature that you're grappling, you have advantage on.
Oh, okay. So would I have had advantage when I was attacking it?
Only if you were grappling it.
Oh, okay. All right. So how much damage did I just take?
Fairy, I've got you.
Right. That's 13 damage.
Oof.
Okie dokie. And then, it's actually gonna... No, that's fine. Falben.
Which I don't.
Like, what else can it do? It already did an acid splash, and then it attacked. Did its full attack on me?
I didn't know if it was gonna move.
I don't think Falben has actually taken damage yet. I think he should be at full health.
Oh, I don't know why
good point.
he's not at full health.
I think it was some weird stuff going on with the other scorpion.
Okay, well, he should be back at 88. Alright, well, Falben's gonna take a step up. He's gonna be like, you got my buddy, I'm gonna make you not get my buddy. And yeah, he's gonna...
So, I am incorrect about the grappled condition. It does not gain advantage on you. I think that some creatures that can grapple have that as like a clause within the attack, but that is not part of the grappled condition. So let's see. So that grasping pincers attack, it rolled above a 25 for both rolls.
That's fine.
So
we're good.
Okay.
We'll just carry on.
All right. Anyway, sorry about that.
Yeah, not a problem. All right, so Falben's gonna rebound dagger this, and because I know Shade wouldn't necessarily be considered the threatening enemy, but the Echo is. So
sure.
So he can proc sneak attack on this if he hits.
21 hits.
All right. How does... I'm gonna use the sneak attack. So that'll be doing 21 damage, it looks like. Total?
21? Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. There's that 9, and then the 12. Cool.
And he's gonna do that again with his bonus action.
24 hits. 10 piercing. Yep. Very nice.
Yep.
Looking pretty messed up.
All right.
Theo.
Absolutely. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna headshot this fool, and we'll call it a day.
I love that.
Works for me.
I would gently encourage you to either luck roll or add a +5.
Well, after all of that, I'll do a +5.
Okay, cool. So we're gonna do a +5, and then that shot will hit, dealing 12 piercing damage, spraying green blood behind it.
And then my little fella, he's gonna shoot his force ballista. I need to target him first, then we can get the cool stuff.
16 is a miss. Or it's a glancing blow off the carapace.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's me in a nutshell. Please continue.
Do you want a luck roll? You got luck rolls.
Okay. I'll roll some luck.
We haven't had combat in 62 days. Roll some luck.
Yeah, I've got to. Let's get lucky. Let's get lucky.
Come
So
on.
I'll do that plus 5 and hit for another 14.
Luck roll has to be a reroll.
It's a reroll. Okay, I'm gonna do that then.
So it might still miss, but do you want to do again?
Yep.
Another luck?
Okay, you know what? Why not?
You need an 11. Damn it!
Well, it's not gonna happen. So
All right, the fates have
It's not
decided
gonna
you are
happen.
not shooting the scorpion.
many times over.
I'm so
It's
sorry.
forceless. It's just like, nope, I don't shoot scorpions. That's
like
not in my job description.
It looks like me. It's got little legs and
I don't get paid. I don't get paid enough for this.
Okay, Megas.
All right. I'm just gonna like whip around and point to it, and a little spark of electricity flies out from my finger, and I'm doing an electric fireball on this thing because I assume they're resistant to fire damage. They live in the desert, so. And yeah, we'll do it at 4th level. Sure.
Okay.
And it's not going to harm Shade or his Echo.
I wouldn't think of it.
And one moment while I have a look at those numbers. So 1, 2, 3. So yeah, I can re-roll the 1, the 2, and the 3 and the 3.
Okay.
So subtract 6,
11.
subtract 11. So this is going to be 20 plus. So it's 42 damage with a 19 dex save to have it.
Okay, fails the dex save.
42 damage
42 damage.
of lightning.
As part of its innate, there is a spasm trait that it has. Whenever it takes damage from lightning, it just out of its control. So it could just be its dead body. It's going to make a stinger attack against a random creature within reach. So I'm going to once again roll between the Echo and Shade. Higher.
Wait, it's actually doing that?
Yes.
What?
Like it's not of its own ability. It's like you are literally shocking its musculature. It could
Nervous system,
It could
basically.
be dead, and it's still going to do this. So it's going to attack at Shade. That's 15 misses.
Misses.
And so that how much damage? Fire damage, or electric damage?
42.
42. Yeah. Describe this killing blow, including the weird like spasmy stuff.
Okay, because it's spasming, it's going to be that thing where it is going to spasm so hard. It's like when you see a tarantula trying to molt.
Oh. Ugh.
But it is actually just going to like shake its exoskeleton apart at the seams.
Oh, that's nasty. I want to kick you out of this game for describing it that way. That's awful. Okay, yeah. So it certainly just shakes itself apart through contractions caused by this lightning fireball. And
I imagine
wow.
the stinger goes like right past Shade's head, and he's just like,
Yep. Okay, and that's it. We'll drop out of combat. So, GG, you did it.
Jade is prying the pincer off of himself, like brushing off the acid and blood from his mouth. Well, that went pretty well overall.
Yeah, Adrian, are you all right? I saw a guy. How bad are you feeling?
He's got like a pretty decent cut along his midsection. He's like, I've been better, bro. But
Okay, all right. Let's get you some healing.
the thing was bigger than I thought it was gonna be.
Welcome to the team.
Thanks.
I dropped my.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say I dropped my Shadow of Moyle and say let's not waste any more time on this nonsense.
I want to have the commander roll an insight check, but I want to ask you first, Theagenes. Was the Shadow of Moyle, was part of that intended to conceal your fighting style from these warriors?
Regardless, it would have.
Okay. So I'm going to have him roll that at a disadvantage, an insight check. Wow, he rolled really well. That's a 19 is the low roll. So he just approaches and with a very serious smile, you have done well. This is a difficult fight, and you had numbers with you, but I expected one of you to fall at least.
Oh, we do tend to be really fairly resilient. Shade's just like brushing up acid and stuff from his armor.
You positioned yourself well according to your abilities, the strongest and largest at the front, moving when you needed to. Yes, I believe you are talented warriors, all of you. He looks over at Theagenes. Some of you more talented than I expected. You there, and he points at you, Theagenes. Where did you learn to wield a spear as you do?
I'm going to use deception here, which thankfully I'm very skilled at, and say, this is a fighting style of my own invention. And we're going to roll that. Thankfully, what does that come to? I don't see.
Is that 22?
Yeah, because I'm really good at it.
He says, It is impressive, but it borders on what do you call it when you use somebody else's work as your own in like a paper? Plagiarism.
Yeah.
It borders on plagiarism.
I'm not concerned with where my style comes from, only whether it's effective.
You speak as one who has fought on their own their whole life. This is sad. I am glad to see you travel with other warriors, but I hope that you can in time learn to act as a unit as we Aresians do.
Oh, he's really pushing my buttons.
But he's also trying to say, I am trying to say it in a way that like deflects from him realizing that you're Aresian. He's like insulting you, but in a way that he would insult, like you don't know what it's like to be like us, kind of thing.
Gosh. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna tell him. Here's what I say. I say, I wouldn't learn. No, I'm just gonna say I could never learn to be like you. I calmed down. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay. He doesn't reply. But he returns to Shade and just says, according to our agreement, I will now show you the passage into the interior of the island, now that I know that you can defend yourself.
Thank you.
He leads you to an area of sand, and with his spear just begins to draw sort of the coastline of the island where you're at, and then points to an area up the coast and says, "This is where you will find the passage inland."
Appreciate it.
Beware, though, it is just as deadly as you will find here, whether it is the storms or the scorpions or others that we do not yet know. But most of all, beware what you find at the interior, because that is something that none know of.
We do appreciate the information. And we will be cautious.
If you will not be cautious, you will be bloody, as obviously you have shown. Well, it is time for us to return to camp, but we wish you luck.
And to you as well.
So he gathers his men, and they begin to head out.
I'm going to look after them, look to Theagenes, judge that maybe the tensions in this moment aren't quite right to make a move on one of them.
I mean, they are impressed with you guys. It might not be the worst time. While you're doing that, though, in all the excitement, you sort of didn't catch a sandstorm brewing. You look towards the interior of the island.
Real quick, before we go too much further, while that exchange was all happening, Falben would be checking on Adrian to see if there's anything he can do about the poison, like with his healer or herbalism kit or anything like that, to make sure that he doesn't keel over in an hour.
Yeah, I think he's able to identify that it's not a lasting poison. That not anything he needs to be cured from. So he's okay.
Okay.
But yeah, and as you guys are talking, you can hear the wind begin to pick up, and before you know it, there is a massive sandstorm encroaching on you quite quickly.
Do we see any cover anywhere nearby?
Not really. You would have to probably run back to the Centaur village.
Yeah, it takes 10 minutes to get the hut going, so let's book it.
All right, let's go.
All right, you guys begin hustling back to the Centaur village, and you can see this wall of sand come over the plateau, and then just sort of blast you. The air gets dark. It stings. It's not quite as there is a bit of a decrease in velocity down by the shore, but it hurts, and it's hot, and after a minute or two, you can't see more than a foot in front of you, even with dark vision. It's just simply there's too much particulate in the air. But you're able to find the water line and use that as a way of guiding you down the beach. And after about 20 minutes, you arrive. You can see the shrines that you were at before, and you know that you're near the village. Time check. Tim, how are you doing on time?
Good. I am good for another hour and a half-ish.
Oh, wow.
So much time to work with today.
Okay, perfect. Wow, I thought we were down to 15 minutes for some reason. Okay, cool. So whoever's in the lead, who would be up at the front?
I'm thinking it might be Falben.
Yeah. Okay.
Because he's got a big boost to survival.
Yeah. Who's next? We're not gonna go through the whole line, but like who's second in the
Probably Shade. That's what I'd be thinking.
Okay. So you it comes out of nowhere because your visibility is essentially nil, but you basically almost run into the statues, the statue of the goblin and then statue of Lutheria, and you reach the statue and are able to sort of get your bearings for a second, and after a few more minutes the sand starts to die down. Who's sort of actually no, before the sand starts to die down, Shade, before you reach the shrines, you see a flash of purple light about 20 feet ahead of you. It's brief. It maybe takes 2 seconds, and then it's gone.
Shade would. I assume there's a decent amount of wind, so it's not like we can talk freely amongst ourselves, right?
It's like roaring. It's like talking next to a jet engine.
So Shade would have, like, as soon as he sees it, he would have leaned forward to Falben and been like, "Do you see that?" Like, you know, I don't know if it would be in time to miss it or not, but
yeah. You call out and you hear no reply, although you're not sure if it's just the loudness of the storm.
Okay.
But then you do eventually reach the shrine, and you're alone for a minute before being caught up to by the others in your party. And then the sand starts to die down, and then the visibility is increasing, and you guys can all see each other. However, Falben is nowhere to be seen.
Who's Falben? Falben?
He was in front, right?
Yeah, he was right
No
in
one
front of me.
passed him?
He was. It's like, of course, with the sand and stuff, there's no tracks or anything.
Yeah, no tracks.
Like looking around the statues. Where is Falben? And then it's like, is Reldrissa?
Yes.
There too?
Reldrissa is here. You see her sort of like double back from, like, she'd gone past the shrines, and she looks panicked.
Ooh,
Reldrissa,
okay.
do you see Falben?
I was right with him. I don't know where he was. I don't know where he went.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay,
This is getting too weird. I'm going to cast Sending to Falben.
Okay. So I don't think it's written in the spell, but I like to think that there's like a dial tone, where you know whether or not you've reached your person, even if you're able to make the connection with them, with Falben, but he doesn't reply.
Oh, that's bad. Okay, I will communicate this. Like, okay, I tried to just communicate to him. Like, it went through. I could feel it go through, but he didn't reply, which is a problem because that's psychic. And like, even you, Shade, you could reply when you were possessed.
So that means, would that mean like he would be unconscious or something?
Maybe. Theagenes, do you have any way to like scry or see from afar or something?
Did
I can
anyone
look.
else?
But it would be a ritual, and if he's not here, I don't know what my arcane eye will see.
What, Shade, what were you saying?
Did anyone else see a flash of purple light? Right before we got to these statues, there was a brief flash of purple light. I almost thought I imagined it, but now with Falben not here.
Okay. Shade. Can you go back to the ship and get Sprout? And Theagenes, can you start your scrying ritual? If I have Sprout, I may be able to pull him back. I'm going to call someone.
Right.
Okay, I start my arcane eye thing.
Zarion will be like, I got Sprout. And he'll just like fly off at top speed straight to the ship.
Yeah.
Technically not a ritual, but I can cast it as a ritual in the morning. So I guess I have to use a spell slot on this today. Unless Daniel rules differently.
I mean, wait, is it Arcane Eye?
It's Arcane Eye, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not the morning anymore, so it costs a spell slot.
Right, it's not my ritual thing, so I'm gonna cast it. Why does it? Okay. All right, so I cast my Arcane Eye using a spell slot, and start looking around.
Okay, so you're seeing through this Arcane Eye,
Mm-hmm.
and you can see your party, you can see these statues. You see this statue of the goblin, and whereas before he had been described as, you know, just your goblin with his hands in his pockets, you can see him now. He's holding an object, and this object looks like a small metal container, like a container that would hold liquid. And he's holding it with both hands.
You didn't. Oh.
And then I don't know what you're talking about, actually. And then you see the statue of Lutheria, and instead of her, you know, typical like, you know, ingratiating "I love all my people" pose that she does in her statues, she is holding a child close. And that's all you see.
Okay, I describe this, you know, in my Arcane Eye trance to team members.
Okay.
And when we look, like, physically, do they look physically different?
Yeah, they look totally normal.
Would Magus recognize the small vial that the goblin, or any aspect of this, as being? Would he recognize any magical aspects of them?
Make a. I would say either history or Arcana check.
And I'm going to use inspiration to add 5 to that.
28. Yeah, it's something. The thing that's in the goblin's hands, or that Diogenes describes, that was in his hands, is something very rare.
Yep.
Something that you probably no one's ever seen in Thelia, but you've heard like outsider stories. It's a lamp, like an oil lamp.
So these statues only look like this to Theagenes,
Right,
not
because
they didn't actually change in
right, yeah,
physical.
he just sees like abstract things that aren't quite real but have some sort of basis in like fate or like the future or the past, you know. But
So,
more
okay,
specifically, like a magic lamp.
Okay. I guess that went a different direction than player was expecting.
Yeah, I was like, what? I wonder what you're thinking. I'm actually curious. What was your theory that?
Oh, there is a 9th level spell called Imprisonment, which imprisons a creature in either it can be, one of the options is like a small vial or container or orb.
Oh, interesting.
And it can only be undone by like a 9th level dispel magic.
Wow, that would have been cool, huh? No, but so, I mean, that might have been something I would have had on Lutheria's statue, but this is on the goblin.
Interesting. Okay, I'm not liking where the her holding a child is going. That has multiple different interpretations, all of which are bad.
She loves kids.
Yeah, as dearly as I.
They taste delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am going to cast Sending to Condris.
Okay.
And I am going to say, found an interesting statue of Lutheria on Scorpion Island and saw some portals forming. You wouldn't know anything, would you?
What am I gonna say? Oh, Magus, am I that predictable? But don't worry, I merely need to borrow him.
I'm gonna burn a higher level spell slot to reply to that nonsense. And I'm going to tell him, you have no idea the rain of fire that borrowing him will bring you. Bring him back.
Sorry, Magus. It's a risk I simply have to take.
Okay, to the rest of the group. Well, Condris took him. And I think he took Falben back to Lutheria.
Do I know Condris? I don't think I do.
I think he's the guy that you're looking for to take you into the underworld.
Oh.
Because didn't you more or less follow some of his trail towards meeting us?
Yes.
Because right before you joined the party, you saw him and Magus talking outside the tavern. The Sour Vintage.
Uh-huh. I don't know much about him. He is a servant of Lutheria?
He is. I have one more thing to try when Sprout gets back.
Yeah, they're here.
Okay. All right, Sprout. This worked once before you even knew it. Let's see if we can pull Falben back. And with Sprout, cast... And I'm going to burn a 5th level spell slot to do this instantaneously.
Okay.
To cast Thelia's Tether on Falben.
Okay. You and Sprout feel the tether beginning to reach through the earth of Thelia and honing in on his position. It's very general. And before you get too far, it just sort of snaps out as if it was counterspelled.
Damn it!
Something happened. Did it not work? I thought I did it right.
I think you did it right. I think you did it right. It's not your fault.
Someone did not.
This was supposed to work. I was supposed to have these so that for this exact reason, and it still didn't work.
Shade will walk up next to Magus, put his arm on his hand on his shoulder, and speak. It's all right. We will get him back one way or another.
We will.
Shade's gonna take a page from Magus's book, and he's gonna walk up to right in front of the statue of Lutheria. Be like, look straight at him. Lutheria, you've stolen our comrade. We are coming for you. Maybe not right now. We might not be strong enough. But you wait. We're gonna get him back. I promise you that. Turn around and walk back to the rest of the party.
Yeah, with that, I think we'll, should we call it? Or, what do you guys think?
Matt, you said you need to go, so...
Yeah, pretty soon. We can do whatever wrap up we need.
We'll say we're wrapping up. The next steps, what are the next steps?
So like Magus will just like start like stream of conscious spitballing. It's like the Thelian magic is based entirely on connection. We are connected to Falben based on the oath of fellowship, but Falben is also connected to Lutheria, and Lutheria is connected to Thelia herself. If we could find a way to increase our connection to Thelia, to find out what's going on. This is borrowed magic. I don't know what. I haven't dissected it as much as the else.
Vegas, take a breath. If what you and Sprout tried didn't work now, I'm thinking the only thing we have to try, it's going to take time, and we need to be stronger. One step at a time. Our plan doesn't change, but maybe it does accelerate. It was already a breakneck pace before. Now we are sprinting with everything we have. We have to finish every step. Path was already taking us to Lutheria. Now it's just taking us to her with even more of a vengeance.
Falben has a connection to
thing
the
at a
fates.
time.
Falben has a connection to the fates. There's something on this island that deals with the fates. We finish this island. We go to Golden Heart to greater commune with, to strengthen Sprout's connection with Thelia. We visit the fates.
Jade nods, looks to the rest of the party. Does that work?
Whatever it takes.
Yes, we're here.
And Shade would look over at Rildrissa with kind of like, you can see his heart breaking, like, Rildrissa, are you staying with us?
She's I'll wait for him in his room. Maybe he'll come back there, and I'll be there when he gets back.
Darion would kind of walk over to her and put his wing like over her.
And
It's like,
Rue will go over and do likewise and say, we'll get him back, don't worry.
Kyra says, like, well, into the island where the scorpions lie and the fields of flowers make you forget?
yeah. Shade kind of just like cracks his neck. I think we've got some pent up frustration to unleash.
All right. Any last words before we tap out? In that case, the scorpion-ridden, scorching interior of Scorpion Island and its secrets, its hidden lore, await for your next session. All right. Well, any thoughts? Any highlights? Any shoutouts?
I gotta give it to Diogenes. That was some great connecting with the Aresian background. Like
That was fun. Yeah, I don't know that I knew that was going to happen, but that guy really bugged me. So.
we can barely hear you. You're like super far from your mic, at least for me.
Oh, sorry. I said that was fun. I didn't know that Diogenes was going to react that way, but that guy kind of bugged him.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, and video with the goblins. That was great. There's like there's different denominations of Maltese.
I've been really wanting to include some other worshippers for a long time, and but there's a lot that will come to light on this island that, like, hopefully is starting to, or at least be more mysterious. Yeah. And then, you know, adding on to the lore with the library forest or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And why it's in its current state, you know. That's for me to know and for you to find out.
Oh, in due time. In due time, Daniel.
Well, cool. Awesome. Well, I'll go ahead and cut off the recording and get this uploaded. What did we name the diner with the chocolate milk? Did we ever name it?
Oh, we did name it something. I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. Nessus Quickus. This episode brought to you by Nessus Quickus artisanal chocolate drink. Sponsor of the Ultras.
Artisanal's chocolate dairy beverage.
Yep.
Yep. The hero's preferred beverage.
Indeed. Okay, well, thank you all for joining.
Like the old Got Milk commercials, like it's like Shade with like the chocolate milk mustache. Like, when I'm out adventuring as a hero of the ages, I drink Nessus Quickus.
Oh, so good. We'll have new sponsors from the land of Thelia next time. Thank you for joining.